I managed to secure a VIP seat for my favorite idol's concert. Just as I followed the staff to my seat and was about to sit down, a woman walked up from behind and plopped herself right into my spot. This view is the best. I'm taking this seat. I looked at her and felt speechless. Miss, that's my seat. Please move. To my surprise, she pulled out a stack of cash from her bag and tossed it at me. If you're broke, don't try to act like a fan. I'm buying this spot from you. Take the money and get lost. When I didn't move, she sneered. I'm the secretary to Mark Lawrence, CEO of Lawrence Group. In Jericho City, everyone knows the Lawrence family. Don't push your luck. Mark. Wasn't he the man my dad engaged me to? I immediately retrieved my phone and called him. Your secretary is out here throwing her weight around. She stole my concert seat. You owe me an explanation for this. The title secretary already carried a certain implication, especially when she so openly flaunted Mark Lawrence's name. Mark had better give me a reasonable explanation today. Otherwise, this engagement was as good as over. But on the other end of the line, his voice was cold. Who do you think you are? You have no right to interfere in my business. The call ended abruptly. Kelly Jackson burst out laughing beside me. What a joke. You think I'll believe you just because you made a random call and claimed it's Mr. Lawrence? I turned my phone toward her. Take a look at it yourself. Isn't this his number? She glanced at the screen, saw that it really was Mark's private number, and wavered for a second. She then looked me up and down several times. Do you even look like someone wearing more than $30 worth of clothes? How dare you claim a connection to Mr. Lawrence? Everything I wore was custom made. There weren't any visible brand labels, but the quality spoke for itself. If you're blind, maybe stay home instead of embarrassing yourself. I couldn't be bothered to argue with her. I grabbed her arm and yanked her out of my seat. I don't care whose secretary you are. Even if Mark shows up, this seat is still mine. Move. She stumbled in her high heels and nearly fell. She glared at me angrily. Wretch, how dare you do that to me? I glare right back at her. Watch your mouth or don't blame me for what happens next. Kelly was intimidated by the look in my eyes. She took 2 steps back and started barking at an usher nearby. Throw her out now, or I'll have Mr. Lawrence revoke this venue's right to operate. The usher quickly came over and tried to reason with me. Miss, we'll refund your ticket in full, and upgrade you to another seat for free. Is that okay? I refused sternly. No, this isn't about money. I had waited a month for this concert. I even set alarms in the middle of the night just to grab this seat. There was no way I'd give it up because of her. Not a fat chance. Seeing that soft persuasion didn't work, the usher's tone hardened. Miss Jackson is Mr. Lawrence's secretary. If you offend her, you won't last in Jericho City. Be smart. Otherwise, you'll regret it. Kelly lifted her chin arrogantly. You heard him. Give me the seat, kneel and apologize. Maybe I'll let you off. This was hilarious. No one in Jericho City had ever made me apologize. I sat there without moving and looked up at Kelly. You want me to kneel to you? Who do you think you are? Her expression darkened instantly. She yelled at the usher. Throw this clueless wretch out. I'll take the blame if anything goes wrong. 2 ushers grabbed my arms and tried to drag me away. For the sake of self-protection, I'd been trained in combat since I was young. There was no way they could hold me down. I broke free in seconds, stepped forward and grabbed her by the throat. Watch your mouth or I'll make sure you regret it. Her face turned as she tried to pull my wrists away. Look, let go of me. The usher stared at me in shock. Oh my God. She's got a death wish. How dare she do this to Miss Jackson? If Mr. Lawrence finds out, she's dead. No one can save her now. I didn't care about what they were saying. The Lawrence family didn't sound intimidating to me at all. I tightened my grip while glaring at Kelly. Who did you call a wretch? Kelly could hardly breathe. In a panic, she said, I'm a wretch. I let go and looked down at her. Wretch. You can get lost now. She collapsed to the ground and gasped for air. Her eyes were full of hatred when she looked at me. I dusted off my hands. What? Do you want more? She subconsciously shrank back and was helped outside by the ushers. I returned to my seat and texted my dad about what happened. Before we finished chatting, Kelly actually came back. This time she brought Mark along. Mark was dressed in a black suit and was followed by 4 bodyguards. He stood in front of me. Kelly started whining softly next to him. Mr. Lawrence, she hit me. Look at my neck. She did this. I looked at Mark and my eyes lit up. Back when my dad showed me photos of him, I thought he looked handsome, but only because the photos were photoshopped. I didn't expect him to actually look like this. Appearance-wise, he was my type. I stood up and smiled at him. Hello, my dear fiancé. I'm Samantha Earnhardt. Gasps broke out around us. She's his fiancé? No wonder she was so bold. Mr. Lawrence is her backing. Wait, something feels off. Let's see who he sides with. Mark glanced at me coldly like he was looking at merchandise. This is just a business marriage. Don't think that gives you the right to throw your weight around. Apologize to Kelly right now or I won't go easy on you. Kelly smirked. Did you hear that? Mr. Lawrence told you to apologize to me. I laughed in disbelief. Clearly you started this. Now you're just twisting the story because you have some backing. Mark, if you won't use your eyes, why don't you just donate them? Kelly stepped forward and tried to slap me. What did you just say? I caught her wrist and slapped her back without hesitation. Quit yapping. Isn't it obvious who started this? Nobody should mistake my kindness for weakness. Kelly was stunned for 2 seconds after being slapped. She immediately burst into tears. Mr. Lawrence, she hit me right in front of you. I just can't. Mark pulled her into his arms, and his gaze turned harsh when he looked at me. You're so stubborn. I'm going to teach you a lesson. Mark immediately ordered his 4 bodyguards to seize me. Even with my training, I couldn't fight 4 grown men. They quickly restrained me and brought me to him. Mark wiped Kelly's tears away and said gently, she's yours. Do whatever you want. With his permission, Kelly slapped me twice and whispered in my ear. Wretch, so what if you're his fiancé? I'm the one he cares about. My dad, Andrew Earnhardt, was very protective of me all my life. No one had ever laid a hand on me. I endured the pain and glared at Mark. Mark, are you really letting her do this? I'm calling off our engagement. The Lawrence family only received support from my father because of our engagement. That's how they got to where they were today. Mark replied calmly. Good. I never wanted it anyway. My dad forced me to do it. Kelly pointed at my nose and yelled, You wretch! You don't deserve Mr. Lawrence. It's karma now that he wants to cancel the engagement. I stared at them angrily. I'm the one ending it and I won't forget this. Just you wait. Kelly laughed. What are you going to fight the Lawrence family with? She retrieved an eyebrow razor and waved it in front of my face. I couldn't help but feel afraid. What are you doing? I want you to kneel and knock your head on the ground 3 times. Call yourself a wretch and apologize to me. In your dreams. Ah! The razor sliced against my face. Following a sharp pain, blood trickled down. At that moment, I realized this woman in front of me was insane. Staying alive was more important for now. I dropped to my knees and covered my face. I'm a wretch. I'm sorry. More and more people entered the concert venue. Everyone was looking at us. Some felt sorry for me while others were just gossiping. Well, we told her to take a step back and not offend Ms. Jackson. She wouldn't listen. She kind of asked for it. Mr. Lawrence is horrible. How could he side with his secretary and mistreat his own fiancée? Kelly stepped on my shoulder and said, This is what you get for offending me. You still have 3 more knocks on the forehead to go. Hurry up. In spite of the intense humiliation, I had to endure it. I had no idea what else this crazy woman was capable of. Suddenly, my phone on my seat started ringing. It was the ringtone I had specifically chosen for my dad. I struggled to reach it, but Kelly snatched it first and answered the call. Honey, why aren't you saying anything? Are you happy seeing your idol? I quickly screamed. Dad, save me. I've been attacked. What? Who dared to attack you? It's Mark and his secretary. Dad, hurry up and save me. My dad yelled furiously. Mark Lawrence, how dare you hurt my daughter? Let her go now or I'll make your entire family go bankrupt. Before he could finish his sentence, Kelly ended the call. You and your father are both delusional. In Jericho City, the Lawrence family is the law. Why does he think he can make the Lawrence family go bankrupt? My dad called again, but Kelly smashed my phone to pieces. She then glared at me. Hurry up. You have to knock your head against the ground 3 times. The sooner you do it, the sooner I can start enjoying the concert. I looked at my crushed phone and slowly bent forward. Suddenly, there was a commotion inside the concert venue. Groups of bodyguards stormed in. Their leader ran over and kicked the bodyguard holding me down and helped me up. "Who dares hurt Miss Earnhardt?" he yelled. Kelly froze instantly. The color drained from her face. The bodyguard captain looked at the cut on my face and his expression turned terrifying. "Who did this?" Nobody answered. The entire venue had gone silent. Mark finally frowned. "Who are you?" The captain turned and looked at him coldly. "I'm from the Earnhardt family security team." The moment those words fell, the atmosphere changed completely. Someone in the crowd gasped. "The Earnhardt family? As in the Earnhardt group? Oh my God!" Mark's calm expression finally cracked. He looked at me again carefully. Meanwhile, Kelly still refused to believe it. She pointed at me and snapped, "Impossible. She's obviously lying. Mr. Lawrence, don't listen to them." The captain suddenly slapped her across the face so hard she fell sideways. "How dare you touch Miss Earnhardt?" Kelly screamed in shock. "You hit me?" The captain looked murderous. "You carved her face with a razor. Be grateful I didn't break your hand." Mark's eyes darkened instantly. "Enough. Even if she's from the Earnhardt family, you don't get to touch my people." "My people?" A cold voice sounded from behind. My dad had arrived. Andrew Earnhardt walked into the venue surrounded by dozens of bodyguards. The moment he appeared, everyone automatically moved aside. Even Mark's bodyguards looked nervous. My dad saw the blood on my face and his expression turned terrifyingly calm. That was the look he got when he was truly angry. He walked straight toward me. "Did they hurt you anywhere else?" I shook my head lightly. The moment he touched the cut on my face, his hands trembled slightly. Then he turned toward Mark. "When your father begged me for help back then, he promised me you would protect my daughter. Is this what you call protection?" Mark's expression stiffened. "Mr. Earnhardt, this was a misunderstanding." Kelly hurriedly added, "Yes, she attacked me first." "Shut up." My dad's voice exploded through the venue. Kelly instantly went pale. My dad stared at Mark. "You let another woman humiliate my daughter. You watched while she knelt. You watched while she got injured. And you still have the nerve to call it a misunderstanding?" Mark's jaw tightened. "You can't destroy the Lawrence family over a woman." My dad suddenly laughed. It was a terrifying laugh. "Over a woman? That woman is my daughter. Everything your Lawrence family has today came from me." He took out his phone in front of everyone and made a call. "Cut all cooperation with Lawrence Group immediately. Pull every investment. Also release the evidence of their illegal accounts to the media." Mark's face changed completely. "You." My dad hung up calmly. "I gave your family 10 years. And in one night I can take it all back." At that moment Mark's phone started ringing non-stop. His assistant's panicked voice could be heard even from where I stood. "Mr. Lawrence, something's wrong. Our stock is crashing. Several partners just canceled cooperation. The bank froze our credit line." Mark's face finally lost all color. Kelly grabbed his arm nervously. "Mr. Lawrence." He suddenly shoved her away violently. "You useless idiot." Kelly stumbled backward in disbelief. "Mr. Lawrence? If you hadn't caused trouble, none of this would have happened." She panicked immediately. "But I did all this for you." "Shut up." For the first time tonight, fear finally appeared in her eyes. My dad looked at the security captain. "Take her away." Kelly instantly screamed. "You can't touch me. I'm Mr. Lawrence's woman." Mark didn't even look at her. The bodyguards dragged her away while she cried and struggled desperately. The entire venue watched in silence. I looked at Mark calmly. "You said you never wanted this engagement anyway. Perfect." I pulled the engagement ring off my finger and threw it at him. "It's cancelled." The ring hit his chest and fell to the ground. For the first time, panic flashed through his eyes. "Samantha." I cut him off coldly. "You chose the wrong person tonight." Then I turned around and walked away with my dad. Behind me, Mark suddenly shouted my name. But I never looked back. The moment we walked out of the venue, my dad's face darkened completely. "Get the best plastic surgeon in Jericho City." "Yes, Chairman." I touched the cut on my face lightly. "It's not that serious." My dad looked at me sharply. She touched your face. That alone is enough reason for me to bury her. The bodyguards around us lowered their heads silently. Nobody dared speak when my dad was angry. I suddenly asked, "How bad is the Lawrence family's situation now?" My dad sneered. "They're finished." Meanwhile, inside the venue, Mark's phone still hadn't stopped ringing. One bad piece of news after another came flooding in. "Mr. Lawrence, 3 shareholders are withdrawing. The media released reports about the company's illegal transactions. Our overseas project was suspended. The stock already hit limit down." Mark's expression became uglier with every call. The people around him had started whispering. So the Earnhardt family was backing the Lawrence family the whole time? I thought the Lawrences built everything themselves. No wonder Mr. Earnhardt got so angry. Mark suddenly looked toward the exit I had left through. For the first time, regret appeared in his eyes. At that moment, Kelly was shoved back inside the venue by the bodyguards. Her hair was a mess and half her makeup had been ruined from crying. "Mr. Lawrence." She rushed toward him desperately. "You have to save me. They want to arrest me." Mark stared at her coldly. All the tenderness from earlier was gone. "You still have the nerve to ask me for help?" Kelly froze. "You said you cared about me." Mark grabbed her throat suddenly. His voice was terrifyingly low. "Because of you, Samantha canceled the engagement. Because of you, the Lawrence family is collapsing." Kelly's face turned pale from fear. I didn't know." "You didn't know?" Mark laughed coldly. "You acted like a mad dog all night without even knowing who you offended." Kelly started trembling. She finally realized how badly she had messed up. The police arrived shortly after. The moment they walked in, Kelly panicked completely. "No. Mr. Lawrence, save me." "She attacked Ms. Earnhardt with a weapon in public," one officer said coldly. "Come with us." Kelly cried and struggled desperately, but Mark released her like she was garbage. He didn't even spare her another glance. As she was dragged away, she screamed hysterically at him. "You used me too. You let me target her. You're not innocent either." The entire venue went dead silent. Mark's face turned ugly instantly. The police officer looked at him sharply. "Mr. Lawrence, will also need you to come with us to assist in the investigation." Mark's expression finally changed. "You think you can touch me?" The officer replied calmly. "The report includes unlawful restraint, assault, and public intimidation. And the victim is Miss Samantha Earnhardt. Do you think anyone can protect you right now?" Mark clenched his fists tightly. For the first time in years, he experienced what it felt like to fall from the top overnight. Meanwhile, I was already sitting inside the hospital VIP ward. Several specialists surrounded me nervously while examining the wound on my face. "The cut isn't deep enough to scar permanently. You'll recover after proper treatment." My dad finally relaxed slightly after hearing that. Then his secretary hurried into the room. "Chairman, Lawrence Group stock dropped another 15%. Several executives already resigned." "Anne." She hesitated briefly. "Mark Lawrence is outside." I looked up. "What does he want?" "He says he wants to apologize." My dad's expression turned cold instantly. "Tell him to get lost." The secretary nodded immediately. But before she could leave, I suddenly spoke. "Wait." My dad frowned at me. "You still want to see him after what he did?" I leaned back against the hospital bed calmly. "Yes. I want to see what he has to say." A few minutes later, Mark walked into the VIP ward alone. Compared to how polished he looked at the concert, he now seemed exhausted. His tie was loose. His eyes were bloodshot. The moment he saw the bandage on my face, his gaze shook slightly. The room fell silent. Then he finally said hoarsely, "How's your injury?" I looked at him indifferently. "Still alive." My dad sneered from beside me. "You sound disappointed." Mark ignored him and kept looking at me. "Samantha, about tonight." I cut him off directly. "Are you here to apologize because you know you were wrong? Or because the Lawrence family is collapsing?" His expression stiffened. That alone answered my question. I laughed softly. "Mark, do you know what the funniest part is? You still don't think you did anything wrong." His brows tightened. I admitted Kelly went too far. Too far. I looked at him coldly. She held a razor to my face. You pinned me down and handed me over to her. And all you can say is she went too far? Mark fell silent. My dad suddenly slammed the table beside him. You watched my daughter kneel. If my people had arrived 1 minute later, who knows what that lunatic would have done? Mark's jaw tightened. I didn't think things would escalate like that. I almost laughed again. You didn't stop her even once. That wasn't an accident, Mark. That was your choice. The room became deathly quiet. After a long time, Mark finally spoke. I can compensate you. My dad cursed immediately. Compensate? You think money can solve this? Mark looked straight at me. As long as you're willing to calm Mr. Earnhardt down, the conditions are negotiable. There it was. Finally. The real reason he came. Not guilt. Not remorse. Business. I looked at him for a few seconds before suddenly smiling. Mark's eyes froze slightly, probably because this was the first time I had smiled at him since the concert. I spoke softly. You know, before tonight, I actually thought about trying to make this engagement work. His expression shifted. I thought maybe you were just cold by nature. But now I realize something. You're not cold. You just genuinely don't care about other people. Every word made his face darker. I continued calmly. You protected Kelly because you liked her. You hurt me because you thought I had no value to you. But the second the Lawrence family started collapsing, you came running to apologize. I tilted my head slightly. Mark, you don't care about me. You care about what my father can give you. For the first time, he couldn't refute a single word. My dad laughed coldly from the side. Looks like my daughter sees clearer than you. Mark looked at me quietly for a long moment. Then he suddenly said, What do you want me to do? I answered without hesitation. I want the Lawrence family out of Jericho City. His pupils shrank instantly. That's impossible. Then there's nothing left to discuss. I picked up the cup beside me and took a sip of water casually. Close the door on your way out. Mark stared at me. Samantha, are you really going to destroy me over one incident? My expression finally turned cold. One incident? You let another woman carve my face open. You forced me to kneel. And now you're standing here asking why I want to destroy you? I looked at him like he was ridiculous. Mark, you should be grateful I'm only targeting your company. His face turned completely ugly. For several seconds nobody spoke. Then his phone suddenly rang again. He answered with a dark expression. A terrified voice instantly came through. Mr. Lawrence, it's over. The board voted to remove you as CEO. Mark's expression froze completely. What did you say? The shareholders forced an emergency vote. You've officially been removed. Anne. The voice hesitated. Several departments are being investigated. Mark's hand slowly tightened around the phone. For the first time since entering the room, real panic finally appeared on his face. The call disconnected. Silence filled the ward. My dad laughed coldly. Looks like they abandoned you faster than I expected. Mark looked up at me suddenly. Samantha. His voice had changed completely. Gone was the arrogance from before. Now there was desperation. You know those accusations aren't enough to destroy the Lawrence family entirely. If you stop now, I can still. Still what? I interrupted calmly. Marry me. His lips pressed tightly together. I smiled faintly. That opportunity disappeared the moment you let her touch me. The veins in his hands bulged slightly. At that moment, another person was shoved into the hospital ward by security. Kelly. Her expensive dress was wrinkled beyond recognition. Mascara streaked down her face. One of her heels was missing. The moment she saw Mark, she broke down completely. Mr. Lawrence. She rushed toward him desperately. You have to save me. The police want to charge me. Mark looked at her with cold disgust. Kelly froze at that expression. You. Why are you looking at me like that? Mark suddenly grabbed her violently by the arm. You stupid bitch. Kelly's face turned pale instantly. If you hadn't acted crazy tonight, none of this would have happened. Tears poured down her face. I only did it because I thought you cared about me. Mark laughed harshly. Cared about you? You were just a secretary I kept around for entertainment. Kelly stared at him in complete disbelief. No. You said you liked me. You said your engagement meant nothing. Mark shoved her away like trash. You actually believed that? Kelly crashed onto the floor hard. Her entire body started shaking. At that moment, something inside her seemed to snap. She suddenly started laughing. It was a terrifying sound. Then she pointed at Mark hysterically. You think you can blame everything on me now? You were the one who told me Samantha was annoying. You were the one who said the engagement disgusted you. You let me bully her because you enjoyed watching it. Mark's face darkened instantly. Shut her up. But Kelly had already lost control. She laughed and cried at the same time. You promised me you'd marry me. You said once the Earnhardt family finished helping the Lawrence family expand overseas, you'd dump her. The room went silent. Even my dad's expression turned colder. Mark's eyes became murderous. Kelly. But she kept going like a lunatic. You slept with me in your office. You bought me apartments and jewelry using company money. You said Samantha was boring compared to me. Every sentence made Mark's face uglier. The police officers outside the ward immediately started recording everything. Mark realized it too late. Enough. He lunged forward suddenly. Kelly screamed when his hand wrapped around her throat. You ruined me. He slammed her against the wall violently. The police rushed forward instantly. Mr. Lawrence. Let go. But Mark looked completely insane now. Years of pressure, humiliation, and rage exploded all at once. Kelly clawed at his hands desperately. Help! Her voice became weaker and weaker. Finally, several officers dragged Mark off her by force. Kelly collapsed onto the ground coughing violently. Dark bruises were already forming around her neck. Mark's hair was messy now. His breathing was unstable. He no longer looked like the untouchable CEO from before. He looked ruined. Completely ruined. An officer immediately cuffed him. Mark Lawrence, you are under arrest for suspected assault, unlawful detention, and attempted murder. The cold click of the handcuffs echoed through the room. Mark froze. As if he finally realized everything was truly over. The Lawrence heir. The untouchable CEO. The man everyone in Jericho City feared. Now standing there in handcuffs while dozens of people watched. Kelly suddenly burst into ugly laughter from the floor. Look at you. You said nobody could touch you. You said the Lawrence family was the law. She coughed painfully before grinning at him with bloodshot eyes. Now you're worse than me. Mark looked at her with pure hatred. If I get out, I'll kill you. Kelly's smile twitched violently. Then she suddenly pointed toward me. No. You know who destroyed us? It was her. The entire room fell silent again. I looked down at both of them calmly. One kneeling on the ground crying like a madwoman. The other standing in handcuffs with his entire future destroyed. Then I smiled faintly. No. You destroyed yourselves.